Section 3.3 talks about word problems, and this is where we're going to have all of our comparisons. So let's take a look at the first problem here. It says, Leslie is watching her calorie intake. She drinks a vegetable drink for breakfast and will limit the total calories for lunch and dinner to 1,100. The plan is for her lunch to be 300 calories less than dinner. How many calories can Leslie have for dinner and how many can she have for lunch? Okay, so we're talking about lunch and dinner. So why don't we go like this? Lunch and dinner. Okay. It says her calories for lunch is going to be 300 less than dinner. I don't know how many calories she's going to have for dinner, but lunch needs to be 300 less. Now, the total number of calories she's going to have is 1,100. That means lunch plus dinner. So lunch, which is x minus 300, plus dinner, which is equal to x, has to add up to 1,100. So one thing I want to mention before I go on, remember we're talking about the number of calories she's going to have for 2 meals. And if I look at my problem, I see the letter x twice. So x plus another x is going to give me a 2x minus 300 equals 1,100. You can go ahead and add 300 to both sides. So 2x equals 1,400. So when we divide both sides by 2, x is going to be equal to 700. The question is saying how many calories can Leslie have at dinner and how many can she have at lunch? Well, if you notice, dinner is x, and at dinner she can have 700. At lunch, it's going to be 700 minus 300. That would be 400. So that's how many calories she's going to have at lunch. That's how many calories she's going to have at dinner. Leslie, go ahead, eat something. You okay, girl? All right, let's take a look at the next one here. Horse sales. Johnny breeds horses and then he sells them. This month he plans to sell 2 quarter horses, one named Max and the other one named Banjo. In order to make a profit, Johnny has to earn $18,750 from the sale of both horses. Max is a better breed, so Johnny will sell Max for 2 times the price he sells Banjo. How much is he going to earn from Max and how much he's going to earn from Banjo? Okay, so we got 2 horses here. Max. Oops. And Banjo. Okay. And it says Max is going to be sold for twice what we sell Banjo for. So I don't know how much we're going to sell Banjo for, but Max is going to be twice that. And we know that the amount of money we want to get is $18,750. So whatever Max brings in plus whatever Banjo brings in has to add up to $18,750. Combining those, that's a 3x equals $18,750. We can divide both sides by the number 3. Okay. So if I grab my calculator again, right here, clear that out. The number that I have is 18,750. We're going to divide it by 3, $6,250. Okay, so $6,250. That's how much Banjo should sell for, because he's X. Max needs to sell for twice that amount. So guys, if we take our calculator and we take that number and multiply it by 2, we should end up with 12,500. That's how much Max should bring in. Okay, and if you notice, if we were to add these 2 numbers together, we'd end up with our 18,750, right? All right. Next problem here says beach rentals. Isaac works for a rental company located near the beach. The company rents kayaks, paddle boards, and wetsuits. This month he rented 38 more paddle boards and kayaks and 20 fewer wetsuits and kayaks. The total rentals for the month was 171. How many of each item did he rent? Okay, first thing I noticed, we're actually talking about 3 things. We have kayaks, we have paddle boards, and we have wetsuits. Okay. So that just tells me that I should see the letter X 3 times, because now we're talking about 3 different things. Okay, so I'm going to start reading right here. This month he rented 38 more paddle boards than kayaks. I have no idea how many kayaks he rented. We're going to call that X. Paddle boards was that number plus a number 38, right? Because you got 38 more of them. We also rented 20 fewer wetsuits than kayaks. So however many kayaks we had, subtract 20, that'll tell us the number of wetsuits we rented. Now it says the total rentals for the month was 171. So that means that the kayak rentals plus the paddleboard rentals plus the wetsuit rentals has to add up to 171. Okay? So now, if you notice, I have 3 X's. When we add them together, that is a 3X. A plus 38 and a minus 20 would give me a plus 18 equals 171. We're going to go ahead and subtract 18 from both sides. So again, if I grab my calculator and I take 171, let me clear that out, 171 minus 18, coming up with 153. Then we can divide both sides by 3. X is going to be equal to 51, right? Okay. So the question says, how many of each item did he rent? Let's go ahead and figure that out. Well, X stood for 51, so we know we have a total of 51 kayaks. We're going to have 51 plus 38, 89 paddle boards. We're going to have 51 minus 20, 31 wetsuits, right? And again, if we take those numbers, 51, 89, 31, add them together, our total should be 171, right? So again, quick thing just to point out, guys. 3 different things, my letter X appears 3 times, right? 2 different things, my letter X appears twice. I know I got a 3X here, but the letter X itself is appearing twice, right? All right, let's try this next one here. It says, Multiplex. An 800-seat multiplex is divided into 3 theaters. Theater 1 is the smallest. Theater 2 has 180 seats more than Theater 1. And, Theater 3 has 60 fewer seats than twice the number in Theater 1. How large is each theater? I don't know. Theater 1, Theater 2, Theater 3. Okay. All right. So, when I start reading right here, Theater 2 has 180 more seats than Theater 1. I don't know how many seats are there. We're going to call it X. Theater 2 has 180 more than Theater 1. So that's going to be X plus 180. Okay. Theater 3 has 60 seats fewer. So that's going to be minus twice the number in Theater 1. So twice the number in Theater 1 would be 2X, but it has 60 less than that. Okay. How large is each theater? Well, the total number of seats we have is 800. So I'm going to write it out. Theater 1, X, plus Theater 2, which is X plus 180, plus Theater 3, which is 2X minus 60, has to add up to 800. Okay. Notice my letter X appears 3 times. So 1 is 2, plus another 2 is 4. Okay. 180 minus 60 is going to be a plus 120 equals 800. I need to subtract 120 from both sides. So 80 minus 120 should be a total of 680. When I divide both sides by the number 4, when I divide both sides by the number 4, we end up with X is equal to, let me grab my calculator again, 680. Clear that out. 680 divided by 4, 170. Okay. Okay, now remember what the question is asking is, how large is each theater? So X, which is Theater 1, is going to have 170 seats. Theater 2 is going to have 170 plus another 180. So 0, 5, 1, 350. Theater 3 is going to be 2 times 170 minus 60. So 340 minus 60 should be 280. Okay? And again, if we take 170, 350, 280, add them all together, we're going to get our 800, right? All right. Just a few more problems here, guys. Let's take a look at the next part. A state park in Colorado has a perimeter of 92 miles. The park is in the shape of a rectangle. The length of the park is 30 miles less than triple the width of the park. Find the length of the park and find the width of the park. Okay, so two things, right? The length and the width. Okay. It says the length of the park is 30 miles less than triple the width. I don't know how wide it is. But 30 miles less than triple the width means we need to triple the width and subtract 30. Now, another thing I want to do here, guys, because I want to get a visual. It tells me that this thing looks like a rectangle. So the length here is going to be 3x minus 30. Well, then this side here would also be 3x minus 30. And the width here is x. Well, then the width here is going to be x. The perimeter, guys, it already tells me that it's going to be 92 miles. By the way, what the perimeter means is just the distance all the way around, okay? So look, let's do this. Let's start adding. Let's start from, tell you what, let's start from here and let's go counterclockwise. So I'm going to write 3x minus 30 plus another x plus another 3x minus 30 plus another x has to add up to 92. Okay? So let's add up all our x's. 3, 4, let's see, 4 plus 3 is 7, 7 plus 1 more is 8. So 8x, okay. Minus 30 and another minus 30 is a minus 60, okay. Equals 92. So we need to add 60 to both sides. So I end up with 8x equals 90, or 92 plus 60 should give me something like 152. And if we divide both sides by the number 8, let me grab my calculator and see what we get. 152 divided by 8, 19. Okay. 19. All right. So let's come back over here. What is 19? The width of the park is 19. And because it's given to me in miles, guys, it's going to stay in miles. Now, I need to find the length. So remember how I'm going to find the length. I'm going to take 3 times 19. And I'm going to minus 30. So let me grab my calculator. 19 times 3 is 57. Okay? So now I have 57 minus 30, 27, right? So 27 miles. Okay. Let's try the next one. I think it looks kind of similar. It says, Beatrice is making a large rectangular hope chest. In order for the chest to fit in the space chosen by her customer, it must have a perimeter around the base of 156 inches and a length that is 18 inches more than the width. Find the length and the width of the hope chest. Okay, so this is very similar to the one we just did. The length and the width. Okay. So let's see. The length is 18 more inches than the width. I don't know anything about the width, but the length is going to be 18 inches more. Just like we did before. That'll be x, so that'll be x. This will be x plus 18. This will be x plus 18. And the perimeter tells me in this problem is 156 inches. So just like we did before, we're going to add all the way around. So I'm going to write x plus 18 plus x plus x plus 18 plus another x has to add up to 156. So let's add up all of our x's. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 4x. 18 and another 18 is a 36, equals 156. Now we can go ahead and subtract 36 from both sides. 4x equals 120. Then we can divide both sides by the number 4. And x is going to be equal to 30. Remember, because we're talking about the perimeter here and it was given to us in inches, that's going to be 30 inches. So which one is 30 inches? The width, right? That's 30 inches. The length is 30 plus another 18, 48 inches, right? There we go. Okay, let's see what else we got here. Last two problems. Livestock pen. Andy owns a farm in Nebraska and is building a small rectangular livestock pen near his barn. He has 40 feet of material that he will use to place a fence around the perimeter of the pen. Andy's plan for constructing the pen indicates that the length of the livestock will be 2 feet more than double the width. Find the length and the width of the penstock pen, or livestock pen. Just like we did earlier, guys. We got the length. Okay. We have the width. So it tells me the length is going to be 2 feet more than double the width. Well, I don't know what the width is. I know what 2 feet more means. It means 2 plus. Now, double the width would be to double it by multiplying it by 2. Okay. Just like we did a little while ago. I'll write this out. There's my x, and here's my x. There's my width. Our length is 2 plus 2x. 2 plus 2x. And the perimeter, we only have 40 feet worth of material, so the whole thing can't be more than 40 feet. Okay? Just like we did before, we're going to add them all the way around. Okay? So let me start writing. 2 plus 2x plus another x plus 2 plus 2x plus one more x has to be equal to 40. Okay? So let's start adding up our x's. 2x, another x is 3x, 5, 6. So we have a 6x. Okay? 2 and 2 is going to give me 4 equals 40. So let's subtract 4 on both sides. Gives me 6x equals, let's see, 40 minus 4 is 36. Okay? When we divide both sides by the number 6, I get x equals 6. This is given to me in feet. Okay? So I'm going to come back one more time. Which one was x? The width. So the width is 6 feet long. Okay? Now remember how I'm going to find the length. I'm going to take 2 plus 2 times 6. Oops. Plus 2 times 6. Okay? Well, 2 times 6 is 12, and 2 plus 12 is 14. Okay? So 6 feet for the width, 14 feet for the length, and there's our perimeter, right? All right. Last problem here, guys, says the world's oldest bride. You may not have this one in your notes because I just added it in. Don't worry about reprinting everything. Just kind of follow along here. But it says, the world's oldest bride was 19 years older than her groom. Together, their ages totaled 185 years. How old were the bride and the groom? I don't know, but I bet you we can figure it out. We have the bride. We have the groom. Okay? And it says the bride is older than the groom. So I don't know how old the groom is, but the bride is 19 years older than he is. Okay? Together, their ages totaled 185 years. So her age, x plus 19, plus his age, which is x, adds up to 185. So notice 2 people here, 2 x's, 2x plus 19 equals 185. So when you minus 19 and you minus 19 here, we end up with 2x equals, let me grab my calculator, 185 minus 19 166. Okay, 166. We can divide both sides by the number 2. And coming up with x equals 83. So let's figure out who is 83 years old. X, the groom. 83 years old. Okay. Now let's find the bride. Her age is going to be 83 plus 19. That should be something like 102 years old. So they got married when he was 83 and she was 82. So guys, if you are not married yet, don't you worry. Hay tiempo, right? In English, there's still time. And that was the last section, 3.3. Don't rush it, guys. Get married at 83 and 102. Make sure it's the right one.